All right, looks like we're live. Welcome to Worlds Collide. This is a Final Fantasy VI randomizer. This is part of our Battle Royale tournament. We are into our third race for this. It's a single elimination pod based, so the slowest time from every group will be eliminated until we get down to the last person. So I think we've got 7 pods going right now. This is the Ultros pod. Those familiar with Final Fantasy 6 or 3, Ultros is a very common boss, a very standout boss for the game, right? So we do have 4 racers, only 2 being streamed. So we have Fantastadon and TheShwantz on the stream, as well as Edgeworth and help me out, Saberwolf. Mark, that's the other one.
Yes.
I am Hashmalum, be your commentator tonight alongside with Saberwolf.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us this evening for this. I guess, yeah, as Hash said, the Eliminator series. This is kind of a celebration of the Worlds Collide going into the objectives. So we're trying out some of the objectives, and this is, like I said, this should be fun.
Absolutely, we're very excited for this. So, Worlds Collide, if you're unfamiliar with it, it's a randomizer, but most of the stuff should feel the same. I mean, items aren't different than what you normally see. Bosses are more or less the same, but they have scaling, which can make them maybe a little more powerful than you're used to, or a little less. And this seed is a pretty quick seed. It only need to get to Kefka's tower, you can see on the screen, which is helpful. They need to recruit 6 characters, which they start with, I think they start with 3, and then they need to find 9 espers. Once they have that, then they are able to go to Kefka and beat the game. Kefka is not scaled in any way because you don't need to. He's a really difficult boss with a lot of wonky mechanics, so which our runners here are very familiar with. So you'll see
Yep.
them doing lots of things to prepare for that.
Yep, the
However,
max scaling actually is at 45, so there's a cap.
right.
And you were going to go into the skip, I assume?
Yes, exactly. If you get stuck with grabbing too many characters or too many espers, there's a skip, which is a nice little jump to the statues. It skips most of the walking around and one boss in Kefka's tower, which can be a great way of catching up if your checks are a little more random than maybe for your opponents. So I like that a lot about this seed. There are other objectives. Not so sure how much of those we will see this race. For instance, you can get a full Dragoon set for setting the Zozo clock, which is, if you're familiar with Final Fantasy VI, it's not your typical 6-10-50. That's also been randomized. You're going to have to go around, talk to all the NPCs who are lying to you, and figure out what that is. So there's a few other quirky little things like that, which we'll mention when and if they happen on the stream. So just finishing up preparing now. Let's see here. What else can we tell them about Saberwolf?
Well, there's other little catches in this. There's actually a penalty if you do certain checks in this. And actually, we're off and running here. Our rudder is going to be
Awesome.
starting up here in a second with Fantastadon. The Schwans should be going too. There we go. Yeah, and we're off and
Next
running.
magic lore looks like a magic seed. And not great magic power out of Edgar or Go-Go. Mog actually has pretty decent magic power.
Yep, it definitely does. Let's hope the Espers will match up with it. Now, like I was saying, there's a couple of penalties in this randomizer. If you do the auction house, you win an item at the auction house. There will be a plus 10 level penalty to the end Kefka. And also, if you take the item from the Tizen Thief, he's a little thief that's in the corner of that map. If you take either of those, there'll be a 10 level penalty to the final Kefka. So the racers have to keep that in mind. Probably want to avoid it. I did see one of our racers earlier tonight grab one of those, so we'll see. Looks like Swans is going to go into the belly of the beast with the Go-Go chick here in Zone Eater.
Yeah, so we're seeing some pretty normal starts, I would say. Fantastadon running into Narsh. Narsh has a whole bunch of chests in that treasure room, which is open right away, as well as some shops that you can check. There are some, you'll see he's going to grab some consumables. There's some very necessary consumables. While the Schwantz knows that Go-Go's one check. So if you're unfamiliar with Worlds Collide, this seed is character gated. So there are different checks that they can do in the stream or in the game, in order to obtain the characters in Magicite, but they're only unlocked if you have the right character. So TheShwantz is doing a go-go check, and fantastadon in the world of Narsh, he went to that treasure room because that triggers the lone wolf check, which is Mog's only check. TheShwantz is favoring to jump and do this check first because it has some decent looting. It does have decent chests, which are randomized. And then he will get either a character or a magicite or a top tier item for finishing this check. And he misses his
he gets
chest and gets a
pancaked.
squish.
Oh no! Yeah, that is one of the risky parts of that. As we find an Aegis shield on Fantastadon's screen.
Which is why you always save.
That's why you always save before you go into this area on the Schwantz screen. You could be turned into a pancake really quickly if your controller does a little bugging out. And he almost did it again.
Yeah, he knew that chest wasn't anything. I don't remember what it was. It wasn't anything worth mentioning, so he just
it was like a
able
potion
to
or
ignore
something.
it.
But Tiger Fangs is not too bad.
I don't usually use it, but it could be good for selling.
It's more for stats. Better. It's more for stats, and if this is going to be a magic speed, it's going to help with that.
Yes, because Edgar, his natural so our characters here, I didn't get a good look at their stats. I'm not sure if anyone did, but there's a first magicite for the Schwantz. So the stats are, I think, 80 to 125% or something, so they could be good, or they could be worse than normal, so that'll be interesting to see how much damage they get out of this. So.
Yep, and the Swans is getting that extra little chest there and is warping out. He's probably going to grab the rest of the party with him before checking out. I'm assuming he's going to go to South Figaro World of Ruin here.
Which is a fantastic place to go early, right?
Especially when you have an Edgar, because Edgar, at the head of the party, will reduce the cost of all the items in the shop. As he's trying to find the Returner Cave, he actually went to the World of Bounce trying to find the Returner Cave. And is going to go into there, as Fantastadon is using that Edgar discount double check to do
you can
into
do it
the
here
castle
as well. Ooh, some remedies for 600. Remedies are fantastic. You're already thinking about how you're going to prepare for Kefka, and Kefka does some really nasty things. So I like to always buy about 4 remedies before Kefka. Sleeping bags for 200 gold is also fantastic. Those are the quickest way to heal your party in between fights, or in between checks, you could say. Oh, Schwantz, did you catch what Fantastadon got when he went up there? I actually didn't catch that. It wasn't a character. I don't think it was a magicite. He didn't put it on anybody.
I didn't see it was. But we'll get it. We'll get it when the Schwantz does it.
I'll notice it for sure.
But some people do like to wait on that wolf check with Mog until you got some items and some levels, because they can double up when they go up there to also do Kefka at Narsh, which is like an open check that you can do. It's like a battle. It might also be called Battle at Narsh on some of the phrasing and links and stuff. But that is a kind of a double check that you can do in the area of Narsh. That there's a lot of different checks you do at Narsh, and that one you can do like they're kind of side by side. Similarly to Yamaro and the Tritoch, which you have to go through Tritoch to get to Yamaro. So,
yeah, so Fantastadon here would be really interesting, as South Figaro is a very common start for most racers, as it has a very dense amount of chests between the above world and down in the basement. And I am being remiss. I just realized I don't have the Twitch open, which I should.
Oh no!
So I'm going to open up that chat. And Speed Gaming 6.
Yep. And as we mentioned, there is pods. We actually had 2 pods run earlier tonight. And the winner of those pods was Cabasiago, Toyzig, and Jolly Green Ray for the Toilet Atma group. The Guardian groups, Dozany, Ficta, and Zobayan. Moving on from that group. And we do have 2 other runners also running in the background at the same time with the Schwantz and Fantastadon. And as we said at the beginning of this, the top 3 times move on, and unfortunately the bottom one is eliminated. And there's Excaliburs for sale there in the weapons shop of South Figaro.
In the World of Ruin, no less, for half price. That is fantastic. Both of our runners are definitely going to find those. I'd probably be selling that Force Armor right there to buy one.
Yeah, it's not the best sword in Final Fantasy VI, but it's definitely good for
Oh,
stats and
it's
definitely good for evasion.
I don't know. I mean, I played a seed recently where I had the Illumina, which is often considered the best, and just kept running into monsters that were healed or bosses that were healed by Pearl, where there are none that are healed by the Ragnarok. So I don't know. It's definitely a contender for best sword in the game.
That's the one thing about Final Fantasy VI versus the other Final Fantasies that are out there. Pearl or Holy, depending on which game you play, is actually probably the worst element in Final Fantasy for Final Fantasy VI across all of them, because there's a lot of monsters that actually heal off of it. Most of the other Final Fantasies out there don't have that, as Fantastadon finds an Atma weapon in the basement.
Yeah, Atma weapon's a real jump in, talk about that for a quick second. It's a really
Yep.
interesting weapon in Worlds Collide. If you've played Final Fantasy 3, Final Fantasy 6, you know that's another one that's often considered the best weapon in the game. In this one, we're usually going to Kefka at such low levels that it may or may not be good. It has been buffed from its original SNES stats to
Sorry, I'm
be
going to
useful.
interrupt, but there's Mega Elixirs in the World of Ruin Albrook item house.
Usually they're too expensive to ever afford any when you find them in a shop, but it could be really good as a last-ditch shop right before you go to Kefka if you've got no healing. Albrook, where the Schwantz is another one of my favorite places to go early because there's some 5 or 6 chests there, depending if you're World of Ruin or World of Balance, which he went there World of Ruin, so you can grab that one he just grabbed, as well as checking out the different shops. Oh, and he finds a free Ragnarok in the barrel there.
Hey!
Making that definitely worth going to.
And earrings in the
Um,
relic shop.
Yeah, which is huge. They're definitely looking to buy 4 or 5 earrings.
Oh, sorry, you're mentioning about the Atma weapon with its different scaling, by the way?
Yeah, exactly. So now they've changed the multiplier on it so that it can be a great weapon for the end game for Kefka. However, it's not really good until you're roughly level 32. So we'll probably see our runners holding on to those. I could see him selling them for Ragnaroks, but I would probably hold on to it.
Let's see where the Swans is going. Definitely not going to Kefka's Tower, which you just flew by. Okay.
Holgart, someone's got my back. You found the Kieran Esper in Figaro Castle. Awesome. Thank you for that,
All
Holgart.
right. So we
I knew
are
someone in chat would help
tied.
me because when I realized I missed it, I was like, someone in chat should help me, and that's when I realized I didn't have chat open. So pretty pro commentary from us so far tonight.
And looks like Fantastadon's going to get his Ragnarok here in a second. Or he might have already gotten it in the World of Balance.
So none of our characters
Nope,
have
there he goes.
row. But you see them buying shurikens. They're just so cheap and they're so good that there's no point in not buying 20 or 30 of them just in case you do pick up somebody with throw.
Once in a while, the seed will kind of hint or tell you what some of the abilities that some of the characters you don't have yet. Like if you do a fight random fight and if somebody somehow you just learn to dance, that means one of the characters online might actually have dance. So if you're seeing a lot of throwing stuff like throwing stars and the shurikens and the fire shurikens, water shurikens, there might be a thrower that's out there. So you might want to grab a couple just in case you do pick up that one character.
Green Monkey saying he rarely goes to Albrook. I find I go to Albrook most seeds. I feel like it's quick chests, usually good things. Unless there's rods. If there's rods, I always go to Miranda. No one checks that one. And I find rods there almost every time they're available. So rods are pretty much broken, you could say, as you break them to one-shot bosses early and do massive damage late or end game. So that is turned off for this flag, so you won't see any of those in shops. They could still find some in chests, but they won't be buying 30 rods and then just breaking those for 30 minutes.
Gem boxes in the relic shop in the World of Balance, I think that is.
Would you be tempted to buy one of those?
Well, I mean, he already has X. Well, you know what? He already has X magic, so I guess it really doesn't matter. So,
well, he does, but is that a great character to have X magic too? So I don't know.
If you find a +2 Esper and Fantastadon's tipping his hand a little bit, looks like he's going to go to the belly of the beast, the Zone Eater, to get his go-go check, which will be an Esper eventually. as the Schwantz finds that Excalibur that we mentioned before.
Yeah, we'll see if Edgar, Fantastadon, using Edgar, has any better luck with the, I forget what they're called, the people on the bridges, see if he gets knocked off or not, so.
The Leprechauns?
The leprechauns, sure. Getting knocked off once is fine. I was trying not to say leprechaun.
I know, but they're dressed in green outfits half the time.
I know.
So.
There is a name for them, I just forget what it
Hey,
is.
it's March. It's almost St.
True.
Patrick's Day. Okay.
Just tomorrow.
We can say it right now.
Alright. Sometimes it's tempting to take one quick knockoff to get those 2 chests. I mean, I found Minerva's in them before, so it's not that long to go get those.
This middle bridge.
It can be a major
like,
pain.
Come on, I'm at the other end. You can do it. I'm at the other end. Oh, golden hairpin actually in the basement as well in South Figaro, so that will help with the X mileage.
Lore. I was looking at the lures that they start with, but I didn't see anything worth using. I didn't see an arrow, a grand train, a quasar.
No, there was
maybe
like
I missed
stone.
it.
No, there was like stone. I think that was about it.
Yeah, I didn't even see what's it, 1,000 Needles, whatever that one's called, Blowfish or something. So, which can be really good.
Well, you never know. I mean, you could learn. Oh no!
It took a squish. That's so funny. Usually you don't see it very often, and we saw it twice in, I think, the last one I was commentating. Oh, don't tell anybody. It's probably my fault.
Oh no, you're not putting the commentator jinx on again, are you?
I always do. So Schwantz though finding an ice rod and a Genji glove in the basement. I missed that earlier. So, and Fantastadon doing the same thing Schwantz did. First chest wasn't worth it. Let's not get squished again. Oh.
No, we do not have maple syrup.
He's not even going for that one. He's had enough.
Oh, that chest was actually a decent one too. So that's too bad.
Yeah, that was. I forget what it was. Was it a hero ring? I don't know. I don't remember. Okay.
Okay, the Schwantz is actually going to the other end. Oh, he might be doing the throne.
I was saying he's at the wrong end of South Figaro, so you don't get confused at who your characters are, because with the Moogle suit, they actually look like a Moogle.
Oh God!
I just wish the Behemoth suit and the Chocobo suit and all of those did the same thing. That would be wonderful.
Oh my goodness, Gogo has 32 magic power with Mega Gear on.
Yeah, he doesn't have very good stats. He's the most versatile character in the game, for sure. He can just take those other abilities, but his stats are not good, so... Alexander with Osmos? Oh, those are pretty weak Magicite, to tell you the truth.
Mute, so
I mean,
that'll
Mute's
help.
Really good for endgame, right? You want to explain that?
Yeah, Mute's good for Magic, which is tier 2 of Kefka. That's in the back, but we'll break down all the Kefka stuff when we get there. But you want to look for Mute, Instant Death, Ice 3, and along with Fenrir and or Gollum, Espers. Those are the big ticket items you want to get. And I guess this one is actually going to try to get some early fighting levels here. Oh, the Aqua Rake. There we go. I'll say it.
That's a decent spell.
That's a decent spell.
Water does extra damage to machines, so.
Oh, missiles to the face. Okay, that wasn't too bad.
Fantastadon has the same idea. These are two of the more common places to go take some early mob fights to get your experience up and just to keep up with scaling, as bosses might be a little bit powerful right now. Ooh. So, oof. There's the pool that'll heal you right by where the Schwantz is, and Fantastadon has that bucket right in that room. So.
Yep, and that goes down Go-Go there. Oh no, it's a miss from Edgar because he's blinded.
Oh, but he has some eye drops. That's good. That's not an item I often buy, so.
No, they're too cool for school with their sunshades on. There we go.
Yeah.
Oh no, he just did it again!
Oh, but he gets the hit for 30 damage, though.
Ouch, wow. Well, these are proto armors. They actually have high defense.
Yeah, and he's out of magic points, so he doesn't get the MP crit like he did with the first swing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, these fights are not going fantastic for him, so. Fantastadon takes out his first fight.
Hey.
And so does Schwantz. Okay, we'll see a quick heal for both of them, I'm sure. Before they go on and fight anything else.
Oh, he's in
the game to a couple levels, get some experience. Coronet's a decent helmet. Helmets in Final Fantasy VI are generally mediocre. The stats they give you aren't anything that's gonna make your day or break it. So,
Yep, and the
and
Schwann's
this is
cut.
where I would be fighting
Yeah,
battles as the Schwantz instead of outside. So, box set.
that's interesting. I was not expecting that as an instant kill from
Oh,
Log.
but his striker takes it out. Yeah, 15 magic points is good. Gold and experience are pretty lackluster. So,
Yeah. Well, there was a life mixed in there, so at least you can res people if you run out of Phoenix down. So
yeah, I mean, again, not wonderful, but take what you can get, right? So, honestly, it's about time just to have Go-Go
whoops.
mimic stuff to save.
Uh-oh. Well, I don't think he was expecting this fight.
Oh,
Okay,
but if
Mog's
he gets
like,
that
look at
striker,
that.
yeah, you should be fine. Oh, and a pearl or a flare
Oh.
proc, so not fast, but it'll kill him and let him go get healed, get this experience. Mesosaurs give decent experience, so.
Yep.
Wonder how many they shouldn't take two. Oh, and then look at
Oh.
that poor Mesosaurus on.
Wow,
He's out of magic points. He didn't take a heal between the last fight, so.
yeah, it's a Mizzy-Store infestation here that we have on the Worlds Collide.
Yeah. Just use ice and mimic it. Oh, but that did decent damage too, so he'll be through this pretty quick. Looks like Schwantz is done leveling up, ready to go. So.
Yep, he got his chow, so now he's going to go the other end of the cave to start the Edgar series. Now, the Edgar series, you have to go through South Figure Cave from this end, not the end he was previously at, to trigger the first of Edgar's checks, and that is the underground castle that's stuck, and then you try to trick thieves to go back into it. And then it's followed up immediately by going back underground again to do the ancient castle. So you usually do all this together, along with checking his throne, which usually has an item, character, or an esper. So there's
which
like
is
kind
why
of three check in one.
he didn't do that castle right away. Fantastadon, I think, was looking to get some early checks just to up the scaling so he would get more experience out of these fights, where the Schwantz was looking to be more efficient with his checks, so he'll be able to chain those three together. Both good plays, neither one really better than the other. I prefer usually to chain them, but sometimes that quick progression will give you the scaling you need to really go faster.
Now that they're actually the Fantastos doing the exact same check now, so we're gonna have some side-by-side racing now. The first 15 minutes of the randomizer for Final Fantasy VI is a lot of gathering, chest looting, buying items and shops because your characters have nothing on them. They just basically have their shirts on their back, and that's about it. So you really have to loot and run around, get the items you need to move on. As we find a second golden hairpin, so now we have double X magic with half usage on MP possible now, so that'll be very helpful. And we'll see who our first big boss of the game here is.
Yeah, the reason why you do all that looting, you don't go do checks, even if you maybe find a Ragnarok, is this could be Doom or, oh, I shouldn't say things like this.
Oh, don't jinx it! Don't jinx it, man! Oh, you jinxed it!
Did it again. So yeah, this is an incredibly difficult fight. They do have ice magic, but that doesn't matter because Poltergeist is actually weak to poison, which there aren't really any strong poison spells.
Spicy chickens in the chat if you got them.
Yeah, spicy chicken. I said Goddess and Doom. I didn't say Poltergeist when I was mentioning bad bosses that there could be. So I would say that this was not Commentator's Curse. And then we've got, yeah, Schwantz just deciding, you know what, reset. What's really rough about this location of Poltergeist especially is the Edgar check. That's a long walk. That was actually like going into the cave, grabbing a few chests, going into the castle, going down the stairs, grabbing some chests, and then finally getting to the boss. So that's a decent amount of time just getting there before you run into the boss that you can't kill. So, if only... Oh, but look at that. He has super balls. So, and then Go-Go can mimic those for free. If he can get some good rolls like that one, and mimic those. Fantastadon might... Oh, another really good one. Oh, but Edgar blocked it. Oh, this is crazy. But he swung instead of using a Super Ball. Oh, we'll see how quickly he can throw another Super Ball and see if he can get through this Poltergeist fight. It's not looking good. Oh, and Edgar's alive. That's crazy. This is such an unfortunate fight to get this early. Oh, and that Super Ball was not quite enough. He only got 1,000 hit points. This Edgar, though, just blocking spells left and right. Another 2,800, and he gets through it. Oh, shoot. Definitely cheers for Fantastadon for taking out that Poltergeist, getting through that. That is insane. So early. That could have gone bad very easily. Finding an Aura Lance, which is a great stat stick as well as just a great item in general. Getting his Magicite. But the Schwantz knows. I mean, what other checks do you have? Honestly, after finding Poltergeist without Flame Shields, I would probably go to Mog's check. You can do that and Kefka at Narsh. Not fantastic for experience. Since you'll only be able to use 2 of your 3 characters, but that could get you a character you need to get some better checks. So, kudos to him for trying. Seeing if he can take out this Poltergeist. Hopefully he's got better luck this time. Oh, and Speed Gaming 2, rating with a party of 30. That looked like a very rough Pokemon seed. I'm not too familiar with the game, but from what I heard from the commentators as I was watching that for a minute before this started, sounded like a good time. So for all of those who have just joined, the 30 of you, this is Worlds Collide. It's a randomizer for Final Fantasy VI, obviously. Final Fantasy III for the Super Nintendo, if that's all you played. In this, we have characters who will provide the different checks that they're able to do. We start with the 3 characters that you see. No one's found a new character yet. That will provide different checks to allow them to get characters and espers. In this particular seed, once 6 characters and 9 espers are found, they'll be able to go to Kefka's tower and hopefully win the game. So,
and for those of us joining us, the Fantastadon was able to get through his spicy chicken check, but Schwantz had to do a reset there. That's his Poltergeist.
One of the statues, one of the last 3 bosses of the entire game before fighting Kefka normally. However, they are really low levels, so the bosses are low level too. It's scaled off of how many checks they've done. So, throw a couple of Super Balls who don't do damage based on your level, but just a random number, multiplied by 256 or something like that. And you get through the fight in less than a minute. So that was awesome play by the Schwantz. Good job knowing what he needed to do and doing it to get through that fight. And he will pick up his Magicite.
And also for those of you joining us, this is actually the Battle Royale. It's an Eliminator series. There's actually 2 other runners you do not see on screen right here. They're also running the same exact seed. The slowest person is out and will not move on to the week 4 of the series. This is one of our pods. This is the Ultros pod. There are 7 pods total. 2 of the other pods ran earlier today, so we already had our numbers from that. And we are trying to find our grand champion of the Battle Royale here in this kind of the celebration of the new objectives that we added to the full release of the Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide 1.1. As that is a Magicite sitting on the throne. Oh,
and
Cyan.
There we find our character. Cyan is a very good character to find, not always for his stats. However, a 40 vigor and jump is very good, so he'll be very happy to see that. Let's see here. Yeah, what's great about Cyan is the checks that he has. I like all of Cyan's checks. The Dream can be 3 quick checks, all chained together. And then the other 2, one of them has a dragon, and the other one's one of the fastest checks in the game at Doma Castle. So, very good checks, a little bit more options. Normally, in a seed that starts with 3 characters, you can have up to 15 checks to choose from if those characters provide 5. this seed has been really fun for all of us because, as you can see, they've been doing basically the same thing all seed. It's been very linear because of the Go-Go Mog star. Go-Go and Mog only have 1 check each, and while Edgar has 3, they're all chained together, so it's almost as if he had 1 as well. He only has 1 place to go. He can't even get to his 3rd check without doing the first, the first whatever order you want to call them. He can't do the Ancient Castle without doing the cave check, so
Yep.
they haven't had a lot of options of where to go. But now with
Right.
Cyan, maybe it will change things up.
So one other thing we also want to note is that if a player is able to get 9 characters or 12 espers on top of the opposite, the 6 characters or 9 espers, they are able to do the Kefka skip, which means they skip all the way right ahead to the statue switches. So that is another option for our racers. If you start to get too many characters or too many espers, that is an option to try to get you into Kefka to kind of catch up a little bit. But with, like you said, with this whole entire character gating and everything has to go through Edgar, I'm sure our other 2 runners who are running in the background with this is probably going to be running the same thing. This is a completely linear seed, so everybody's doing everything at the same time pretty much. So.
Yeah, and as he was saying, it's an elimination round, but you don't have to be too worried about Fantastadon and the Schwantz, because we actually have 4 racers in this pod racing currently. We just have only 2 of them being featured, so they might both advance. Did you see also, Saberwolf, did you see the best part of Ancient Castle Fantastadon found?
No.
Oh, let's see if the Schwantz picks it up here. Yep. So he goes and grabs his experience egg. The
Oh,
experience
is that
egg
where it was?
doubles your experience for every fight, which in a seed like this, in the rando like this, it's amazing. It can be the difference of 10, 15 minutes, I'd say, in a race. Very, very good find, especially the earlier the better. So.
Ooh, Swan's just doing a dance with the dragon there. Now the dragons
Yeah.
are actually scaled, so the dragons are actually at the same levels you are, where the bosses are right now in the game. So they're actually not too difficult at this stage, I guess. But you don't really have any good spells to really dish out the damage you kind of need. So maybe that's
If you
not
were
what you want to do.
Schwantz, would you try it? Would you fight one?
It depends on what my spells are right now. Right now I don't think they really have the right spells and the right damage to deal with it right now. Jump certainly helps a little bit. But when you do a dragon, though, after you do the first dragon, the dragons will go up by 10 levels. And after doing the second dragon, the dragons will go up another extra 10 more levels. So, and then we'll stop there. So, but I mean, the equipment. Oh, gee.
totally
He
fight
is
the
going for the
dragon.
fight. Okay.
Yep, so would I. Absolutely.
And
You get so
Fantastadon.
much experience. And the Skull Dragon's
Oh, it's
actually not a
Scully.
bad find.
Okay.
So,
Not bad.
dragons have scales, which is actually a good thing in Worlds Collide. Normally, if it's a scale dragon versus a non-scale dragon, you would prefer to go after the non-scale dragon, but not in Worlds Collide. If they are not scaled, they're level 60-something. So, whereas scale dragon will be close to their levels, which is right around 14 right now. So, depending on how they've managed their checks and their scaling. So.
And I want to point out that Cyan apparently is dreaming about Kefka. I'm not sure if that's really healthy for him, but Fantastadon's currently doing the Kefka series, the Cyan series of checks, which is called Cyan's Dream. There's actually 3 checks available with this one. You could get 3 espers, 2 espers, and a character. So there's a lot of potential on this.
Sometimes they call it the Nightmare as well, which is why Kefka would be there, right?
Well, we're gonna have
finds a Bismarck, the whale. Nice. Good to summon against Dirt Dragon. About no other uses, unless it has good spells, of course.
There is, however, but there is going to be a Seed of the Week coming up that's called Clan's Nightmare, so stay tuned to that. That's a realm. That's a realm in the dream too. So there's another character.
Realm is my favorite character in the game. Realm has a natural, I think, 46 magic power, well above everybody else. I mean, even Terra has probably, I think she has the next highest at like 39. So she's always a great find since magic is so strong in Final Fantasy VI.
Yeah, she's definitely a gifted child.
Absolutely. Force shield, not that great a reward for the dragon, as Holgart says. True,
No.
not exactly what you're looking for, but again, we've got rags in the shop, so any top tier item could potentially be a rag. So,
Well, I mean, he was probably hoping for like a dragon horn to go with his brand new jumper in cyan there. So,
which reminds me, I wanted to ask you this: have you ever set the Zozo clock?
no, I have not set the new Zozo clock. The new Zozo clock actually gives you the dragoon stuff, but I
Yeah.
actually don't personally. I don't know who or what you need to talk to get the actual time, because the time now is not the original time. You can set it to the original time when you load up the seed
Oh,
and
not in this
everything,
seed. Yeah, exactly.
but not in this seed. It is even the clock is randomized.
So the
So
first 1.0 seed of the week they did, it did have the randomized clock as a requirement for Kefka. So
more mega
no one
elixirs.
knew what was going on. No one knew how to do it. We all had to figure it out while playing, and it was hilarious to then watch everybody after you that did the same thing. I typed in 61050 as you do, and lo and behold, it didn't work. So yeah, you have to talk to every NPC in the world of balance, and then there's a room in the northwest corner or top left, however you want to say that, where you can get a little bit more information from a clock on the walls. The clock doesn't lie, but all of the NPCs do. This gives
Especially
you
when
a
it's daylight
dragon
savings
horn.
time.
Yeah, exactly. It gives you a dragon horn, dragoon boots, and excuse me, and a top tier lance. But they already have the Aura lance, so they don't really care about that. But it could give them a pearl lance as an option when they're fighting things like Senor Behemoth, as as Fantastadon is facing right now, who is weak to pearl. So
Yeah, and I also want to a slight point here that the Swan just bought an insurance policy there, and buying a Mega Elixir. He sold a bunch of his items, including a
oh,
ribbon,
interesting.
and he actually bought an insurance policy for Mega Elixir, which usually you do find a Mega Elixir when you play through the game. You get it from the aforementioned Magimaster for beating them. But in case you don't meet up with them, he's going to buy that insurance policy for the end Kefka.
Yeah, which is great. I mean, a blowfish is unfortunate with with the levels that they are. Oh, and another one.
Another
Senior
one,
Behemoth is a very
and another
difficult
one.
monster. He can be a real pain for sure. Oh,
Oh
that is
goodness.
interesting. Oh, and a meteor. This might be it for him. So it's
Yeah,
definitely a
senior.
fight he can't win, but
Oh,
oh,
senior
just Edgar
behemoth,
left
not
yet
messing
again.
around.
See what he does. Okay, he's gonna try to bring up his people. Okay, good call.
Well, Swans is about
Hopefully
to
it
join him
works.
in this nightmare here in a second.
We might need a quick check on Schwantz's Magicite. We show him with 3 and 4. I think they've done the same checks though. He might have 4 as well. So, anyone on the chats noticed? One that Fantastadon picked up that he didn't. So the second portion of Senior Behemoth is technically undead, which you could just use. Oh, he needs to get the Bismarck right here. Thanks, Hefe. So he needs to. Yeah, so he could just use a Phoenix down and kill the Senior Behemoth, except we have a flag, of course, to turn that off because that's too easy. Nobody wants the game to be easy. So. Ah, that Senior Behemoth is just being a jerk. And Fantastadon just swinging and hoping for a proc to finish him off.
Yeah,
So-
Senior Behemoth does not like fire, so that's usually what you use against him. But again, even though we have a good spell set of X magic, we're not finding those big time spells to really use.
I think he might have an Ice Rod, which Gogo smacked him with an Ice Rod earlier, healing him for 400 or 500 hit points. So, oh, and he's still not even dead, even with the flare proc. Okay, so let's grab that Magicite for Schwantz. He's now at 4 and 4 as well. So, yeah, I mean, this is pretty normal for this flag set. We've had some pretty rough bosses. The Realm has Morph, which is actually really good. So, doubles your damage while morphed. Using that at Kefka's tower can be absolutely huge. So,
41 magic power, he's gonna
and
pass.
Fantastadon passes. What would you have done there, Saberwolf?
Well, given the fact that we haven't found any spells yet, I would have definitely picked her up. We do know that we have golden hairpins and some the gem boxes available that we can buy. So we can definitely give her a full set of kit with magic power, with the morph also to amplify that damage as we find a Bahamut sitting on the throne as well. So it's two espers and a character for the dream. But yeah, I would have definitely picked her up to pick up those later spells and get her going like later on. I mean, it's gonna be everybody's kind of behind right now on the magic, so
Assuming you find them. I mean, they only get 9 espers, and sometimes there's no spells on them. I think I
yeah, I
would have
mean,
done the same. I love Realm, though, so I probably would have picked her up. She didn't have. I mean, her magic power was in the 40s, so it's definitely good, but it wasn't in the 50s like it could be with the scaling that we have. Did you see anything
yeah.
interesting on Bahamut? I did not.
No, there's been nothing interesting on these espers. And one thing I will note is that throughout this series, through this battle royale series, as we progress through the weeks, the sea gets harder and harder and harder. Well, the flags for it get harder and harder and harder as they progress. Now, in the other pods that run, the other pods actually run a completely different version or seed of this flag set. So if you watch this one, you can go to our other ones, the other pods and stuff, and they'll be a completely different race. So
Right. That was my pod last time. I think the slowest time was an hour 33, and we had one where I think the average time was close to 2 hours.
as Senior
So,
Behemoth drops a Quasar on the Swans' screen, my goodness.
which is, I mean, if he lives through it, that's a blessing, really, in disguise, because now his lore person will know Quasar.
And
As long
Blowfist,
as
apparently.
he gets through this fight. Yeah, and Blowfish. Oh, and he takes a reset. He doesn't
No,
think it's
but
gonna
that's
work.
Quasar.
Learning Quasar is fantastic. That is a non-elemental AoE strong spell that is good in a seed like this where they have almost no magic. I mean, they're casting Ice 1. That's not something you normally see in Worlds Collide.
No, not 40 minutes into the game, though, so.
Let's see what the TheShwant's strategy. Again, I mean, he ran into Poltergeist, had some bad luck, and was able to figure it out and just destroy it. So let's see if he has a similar plan here for
Holgart
Senor
Trivia, do you
Behemoth.
know who the third highest in magic power in the game is?
Third highest would be Celeste, would it not?
Is it, is it Celeste or is it Strago?
Oh, it's not Strago. Mog has more than Strago. Strago actually doesn't even have that good of magic power. Strago is... He's not good. All of his stats are bad. His checks are bad in Worlds Collide. Yeah, he's like 5th or so. I think Gao might even have more magic power than... I'm not sure on that one. Don't quote me on it, but I know it's not up there.
Yeah, and as Sen Pyro said, and he was running a seed, I was watching him today, and Dada Luma casted Quasar on him during his race. So
Polgart fact checks me. Umaro is 3rd with 37. Okay, that doesn't really count, right? I mean, he has one more than Celeste, who has 36.
for Blizzard,
Yeah, for Blizzard, that's like all he uses it for.
that's
So
okay.
I mean, he does have the stat. So same thing with using Leo. Leo's got like more vigor than Umaro and more magic power than Realm, but that dude's just ridiculous.
Oh my goodness, Senior
Gonna
Behemoth is
play him
pulling out
for
all
2
the
minutes.
stops today as he goes down to his skin shed form.
He's doing some decent damage to him though, so I think he should have no problem finishing this out.
I definitely hope, but on
And then-
yes, on screen, Air Force is not
Air
sloth
Force.
either.
Air Force, one of my least favorite bosses to run into in the entire game. He has those 3 bits, and they all can cast nasty spells. He can do Missile to lower your hit points to almost nothing, and then follow it up with Shrapnel, which is one of the strongest physical attack damages, I believe, in the game. So,
Actually, the most scariest skill I see from him is actually Wombat.
yeah, Wombat does a crazy amount of damage, and he can do Delta hits to turn your last character to stone. I mean, honestly, if you're gonna find him, now's the time to do it. Not as a statue, when you only have 2 characters. But, yeah,
When
it's
you-
just a...
When you're
Really
casting
interesting fight.
spells, when you're casting spells and stuff, an arrow is your best option to cast. This is a rough seed.
Arrow's not that bad of a spell though. It really isn't. It does pretty good damage. So, and most things are weak to it. Well, not weak to it, are susceptible to it. So,
Well, we got another new chick here for Fantastadon. We'll see what this is. If this is a item or an Esper. Probably an Esper.
Yep.
Oh, good one.
Fenrir, very good one.
That's my favorite, obviously.
Fenrir is I prefer that to Golem. A lot of people would argue with me, but I think that one is the better one.
So the Swan's just trying to make his decision. He's going to pass on Realm as well.
Interesting. Not what I expected. So.
Well, I mean, we do have a Go-Go who can cast X Magic, Jump, and Lore. So, I mean, versus just Morph. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Go-Go is kind of hit or miss. I mean, it really depends on whatever your other stuff is that you get. So, other kits you get from other characters. So, it really depends on that. So,
right, exactly. Let's see. So where are they off to next? They still have a couple of good cyan checks.
Oh, Fenrir with the flare and the life 3.
Oh, there you go. See?
There's our spells.
I mean, I wouldn't cast flare very often, but and Sin Pyro in the chat. Yeesh, what's up with these bosses? I've been seeing that a lot in Worlds Collide lately, where you're like, oh, this scene doesn't look too bad, and then you're just hit with these crazy bosses early game. By checks that you have to do to progress.
Yeah.
So I mentioned how the undead flag was not on, and we just saw Fantastadon use it. That's because there are no undead bosses, but other mobs that are undead, you can still use a Revivifier, Phoenix Down, or Life Magic to insta-kill them.
The Schwann's is going to do the Doma Castle siege battle, or not.
Did he?
Oh, he's going to heal. He's going to top off, run equip people, I guess. Maybe he's going to equip Realm. Oh, okay, he is going to bring Realm.
Since he found a decent spell, he's like, okay, we can put her on. Okay.
Well, we haven't found a decent. Well, he hasn't found the decent spell yet.
Oh, he did.
His best spell is Quasar right now, or that's basically
which is
a Quasar. Sorry, Quarter. His best spell he has is Quarter for attack speed, for attack damage, or Ice 1.
Yeah.
So
I mean, Quarter's good if you're fighting undead bosses, but the odds of it hitting are pretty low. So not one you see very often.
Oh no.
Absolutely Sin Pyro. I would, just for spoiler's sake, I won't mention what seed that was, but absolutely Sin Pyro. That was brutal. So everybody felt that one. Who raced it? Fantastadon taking more fights because Edgar's a high level, but he's been the only person surviving all of his fights. So he needs his other characters to catch up, or they're just going to continue dying, and it will spiral out of control. So it's not super common to see someone running some mobs right now, as you can level up by, fighting dragons and other things. But if they die and not get the experience at all, it makes sense to do this. And so that wasn't a character we saw. Ooh, and it's Atma. Very difficult boss again, of course, for this seed. Since it wasn't a character that we saw there, that means it will be a top tier item or a Magicite again. And that's Super Ball for 5,000 damage. Very good Super Ball. Looks like he's going to make short work of this Atma. His team's getting pretty powerful. That is some really good damage. He's been a little bit more fortunate having more characters finish the bosses and gain that experience together. So that is some... Yeah, he should cruise right through this fight. Cyan, kind of weak. And so Fantastadon is in... Oh, but they're in the World of Ruin. He's in the World of Ruin, so he won't be able to do the clock check to get that Dragoon suit. Thunder Rod, though, is always a very good find. The Thunder Rod, I didn't know before playing Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide how good that item could potentially be, because it just casts Bolt 2 when you use it, and then it's gone forever, right? Well, yes, but it ignores all magic defense, so the damage that the rods can do is actually amazing. So, especially on a boss like Atma. Ooh, and Flare Star is a very nasty early spell. It does a lot of damage, as you can see. But all of his characters live yet again. Fantastadon taking a dragon. I love this play. Ooh, Speed Gaming 5, reigning with a party of 41. Welcome, welcome. So, for all of you joining now, this is Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide. It is a randomizer where we mix up the locations of bosses and mix up where the items are and mix up what Magicite give what spells. And the goal of the game is to acquire characters at Magicite through checks. Oh, and the Schwant's finding an economizer. Economizer is a very good item. All your spells are reduced to only 1 magic point. It's not progression. It's not a character in Esper like he was hoping, so he will have to keep doing these different checks that are unlocked by the characters that you get in the game. So when they just picked up Realm, for instance, that unlocked the Esper Cave over there by Thamasa, as well as the mansion in Jador in the World of Ruin. So the dragon fights for this seed are not required, but they are scaled, which means that they're down to the level of the different checks that they've got, of their progression. So they're a lot more manageable based on the levels that they have. So they give a ton of experience and a top tier item. So that's good on Fantastadon, taking out that Gold Dragon. Gold Dragon's the Kefka dragon, who often casts Bolt 1, but still very powerful. Getting a lot of experience. His 3 characters who seem to keep dying are very appreciative of that. No, they don't have Terrace and Pyro, and no one's picked up Terra yet. The tracker is just for show characters, right?
Yeah, that's correct. It's just the basic
Esper.
It's just the basic Esper character dragon that you see on any tracker. So it's just showing character. So.
Oh, and that check's dead too for Fantastadon.
No.
So no Esper there or character, so he'll just pick up his shiny gem. Yeah, Schwantz is. That's what I was gonna say, Pyro. Schwantz is doing the clock. He went and talked to everybody. Let's see if he's got it figured out. If he hasn't figured out, he'll grab his Dragoon set.
Which he does, which would be helpful when he's that dragon horn for the for his cyan jumper there. But I think Mog was also jumping on the screen too. So
yeah, anytime you have Cyan with natural jump, Mog or Edgar on your team, they all make fantastic jumpers. So I think this Dragoon set might be the way to go.
Looks like he's also swapping back out Realm.
Yeah, she wasn't paying off like he wanted, I guess.
Well, again, he doesn't have the high core spells. He doesn't have the Fenrir Esper, I believe now. So
Correct. Yes.
He doesn't have that flare spell that Fantastadon found.
All right. So this seed, for those who have been advancing, I would say has been running. We want to be around 90 minutes, hopefully closer to the 80-minute mark. So here we are at 50 minutes, not entering Kefka yet, is when our characters or our racers need to really focus and grind those checks to get the last requirements that they need, that they get to Kefka Tower. They want to be there by an hour 10 if they can. This has been a harder seed, so it might take them an hour 15 or so to get to Kefka Tower, but we'll see.
Okay, so he's still trying to figure out the puzzle. Looks like he's going to try to go for the answer here soon.
And, of course, another, throw it in there. Follow our racers. We got the Schwantz and Fantastadon. Doing the tracking and the commentary is me, Hashmalum, and Saberwolf. If you're interested in the game, please join us. Join our Discord. Go to ff6wc.com. Try out. There's a Moogle first seed for people who are new to it, who are just trying it out, as well as We do living seeds and all kinds of other races that you can just jump in and do and see how you compare to everybody else. Or just play it casually. A lot of people don't stream, don't race, and just play it for fun. It's easy to just play on your phone or something else, so I definitely recommend looking into it.
Yeah, especially now with the whole new Pixel remaster that just came out. This is another fun way to, after you play through maybe that, just try out this too and just try a fresh new look at the same exact game.
Get the full feel of Final Fantasy VI, one of the best games ever made in,
Yep.
hopefully, under 2 hours. Might take a bit to get under 2, but...
One of the best games, but never got a sequel, though, unfortunately.
Sure did. 7, 8, 9, 10.
No. Okay, yeah, there's 7. Yeah, but 7 had 2 other sequels. 13 has 2 other sequels. 10 even got a sequel.
Those were all just cash grabs. They weren't any good.
Uh-huh.
Maybe not a shoot, what am I trying to say? Not a favorite comment, maybe?
Well, Fantastadon has one of the mascots from the races earlier today. That's the toilet Atma, I believe.
Let's see, and he's, jumping with that Pearl Lance with Go-Go. Atma is healed by Holy, which again, you got those Illuminas. Illumina itself isn't a holy weapon, but every time you fight Atma, it will proc and heal him for quad 9s. So, and he throws out a Quake, which heals him and almost wipes Fantastadon. That is really unfortunate. If Edgar kills it and lives again while everybody else dies, oh, poor Fantastadon. That would be so terribly frustrating.
Oh, he's got to survive a flare star based on his experience. Nope. Ouch.
Everybody's disagreeing with me in the chat. That's okay. I don't think they made a good Final Fantasy after 9, but not a very popular opinion, I know. But back to Worlds Collide.
Yeah.
Fantastadon takes a quick death.
Before I turn this into a war.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see if he can turn it around, take on that Atma. Really, if he just doesn't take... I don't know if he had float that he could cast, because that's just a really unfortunate Quake. It's not an ability he uses all of the time by any means. So that could have just been some unfortunate luck there.
TheShwant's taking out his second dragon. So the dragons are going to go up by an extra 10 levels. So the dragons will be plus 20 levels above whatever you are currently for a second experience.
Oh, and a second experience. I missed that the last time. That experience egg is huge.
Which Fantastadon has 2 experience eggs too, then.
Yeah, if he could just get anybody but Edgar to live, that would be wonderful. So, I'm sure he's feeling that right now. TheShwant's is going to be disappointed as he goes through this door and finds nothing. Fantastadon making use of that Fenrir, I believe it was, Esper, which taught his people Flare to get some extra, not everybody's favorite spell to cast. But if you're X Magic Flare and then copying it for free, he doesn't need that economizer on him because Go-Go will just X Magic that for free. That's a lot of damage in a short amount of turns. The animation is long, but whatever he can do to get him through this Atma will save him time overall. So, that Edgar, though, is doing some crazy damage with that Ragnarok.
Edgar is no slouch. I mean, he is kind of the, I guess you could say, the front line knight of this particular version of Final Fantasy because he can use the big swords, the big armors.
Oh, in this seed particularly because he's had the experience egg the whole time.
Yep. So TheShwant's, hello. TheShwant's is going to run into the Sky Battle, which is sometimes random, is going to pull a Chattanooga out of the, I believe it's a... Help me out, trying to remember what the name of the... I know it's Zone Seeker.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the Chattanooga fight, not a great fight to find. It's not fast. Waiting for him to turn into a demon. And then he's weak to fire and pearl. He's going to throw a lot of lightning attacks at you. So if you don't have any elemental protection, he can be a really difficult boss. But congrats to Fantastadon, living with 3 of his characters alive through that fight. So I'm sure you'll be happy to see that. Hopefully he got, and he had the experience egg, I believe, on Go-Go.
Oh, the
But only finding
economizer?
the economizer. Yeah, we saw the Schwantz do that earlier and only get an economizer, so very disappointing again. Not what he
Oh,
was
goodness.
looking for.
So that means that we have to go to the Esper Cave, I guess.
Which is a really good check. It's quick, it's easy, it's just a quick boss. You run in, you run out.
It's also a
And you
peak
get to
check.
see what it is. Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is probably why they were saving it. I like to save my peak
My
checks.
girl! Yes,
Oh,
it's
but we
Celeste!
find Celeste. Celeste can equip almost anything in the game. She has 5 checks, which are, in my opinion, I think all of them but Opera House are actually really good. And just an overall great character, great stats. So we'll see what command she has and if she's tempting to put on the team. She hasn't really missed out on many spells, so they might put her down.
Speaking of Opera House, this is Ultros number 2, which is the Opera House Ultros. And he's gone already.
Make quick work of him, which will be great experience for his underlevel characters. So.
And our Celeste has...
Pyro Celeste.
Throw!
Oh, she has
There's
throw.
the throw.
Her
With
magic
41
power was
magic
low.
power.
Yeah.
41.
But her vigor was 35. I would definitely put her on. What would you do, Saber?
I saw 40.
This late.
I saw 41 magic power.
Oh, did you? I might have. I thought
I saw 41. But I mean, she's
both are
got
possible,
throw.
So.
Nah,
Pyro
Celeste.
Terra for life. We can love both of them.
No.
I
Celeste
love
is,
both
Celeste
Celeste
is the main
and Terra.
thing. Okay. Celeste is the main character in the second half of the game. You have her for almost half the first part of the game, too. Don't give me this Terra stuff, okay?
Welcome, Boo the Runner. Celeste is the main character for about the first 20 minutes of the second half of the game.
So, Swans is able to get through that random fight that you get when you're running around the airship.
Oh, what did he get there? I didn't.
He got
I didn't grab
Ragnarok Esper, which I'm trying to
Nice.
update here.
Oh, you got it? Okay.
Trying.
If you need me to, just let me know. Boo the Runner set up this tournament in the... Oh, no. That's the wrong Boo, right? Oh, our tracker. What
the right
happened
Boo.
to it?
Boo.
Oh, it is. Okay. Gateway
Yeah, Boo's the
timeout.
commissioner of the of this whole entire series. I don't know if the tracker's working for you. It's just
Yeah, it's not working right now.
for me.
Says gateway timeout, so we'll grab that when we can. Maybe ping these people. Okay, it's back up.
There we go.
Oh, late looting in Thamasa.
Yeah, Thamasa is another good town that some people don't go to. That has a lot of chests and stuff in it, and unfortunately, you can only do it once because for some reason, World of Ruin or World of Balance, you can't do it twice. It's kind of goofy in that area. Unlike South Figaro, where you can do both a World of Ruin and a World of Balance town looting.
So Celeste's a great pickup for Fantastadon. He's grabbing the free check that she has. It's in essence free. It might take him a little while, but there's no boss fights or anything else to get to it, so it's technically a free check. He's hoping for a quick Magicite. Finds fixed ice.
Fixed ice.
He's got
okay.
a lot of jumping. I mean,
yeah,
jumping
that's
fixed
whether or not
ice.
they can equip it or not. Yeah.
Exactly. And he'll run out through the basement a little bit faster than turning around and going back. Yeah, not what he was hoping for, but if you had Celeste, 6 characters just needed 3 Magicite, Saber Wolf, what would you do in this situation?
Well, I mean, it depends, I guess, on what this last check is. Like, you know, I would actually go to a Magic Facility right now, because Magic Facility would get you at least 2 more Espers, possibly.
That's what I would
It's a
do
little
too.
bit of
I
a risk
probably wouldn't
to
do
do
the
the
third, though.
version. Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of a risk. If I get... Okay, well, basically, my rule of thumb is if you get 2 Espers in the first 2 checks, just back out. Don't even bother with the third one.
Absolutely.
If you only get 1 Esper, as we see Strago is behind the Yamaro check. Good place for him, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess if you only get one Esper and an item, it makes the third one a little more tempting because it makes it a higher chance of it being a character in Esper. But no, if Infrared and if the Infrared fight and the Magimaster Junior fight gives me each an Esper, I'm just noping out. Be like, no, I'm good. I have other things I can do.
He only needs 3, and he needs to get to Kefka. We're an hour in, so I like this check too. He gets to see what that is.
Ooh.
Oh, and he debates. He's like, do I even care if I get Shadow or not? He doesn't need Shadow for the checks or for the character itself. I mean, maybe he has Magitech or some really good ability. And then the Genji helmet's the backup, which maybe if that was an Illumina, I would have probably grabbed an Illumina over Shadow. Just let Shadow fall.
Yeah, so 7th character there for Fantastadon with Rage, which is not great. I mean,
So I've
it
been
has
a
its
little...
uses, but
Yeah, for sure. I've been a little bit remiss. We'd like to thank Speed Gaming for hosting us this night.
yes, thank you.
Yep, they've got a little thing on there saying looking for volunteers to help out. So this has been a great format to showcase Worlds Collide. So we thank them for that, and if you can, help them out. Hey, Green Monkey in the chat. Man, if people went to Shadow before Edgar, this could have been a completely different seed. Absolutely. It would have been very, very different. All of the routing would have been changed, and who knows what they would have found.
It's all about whether or not you want to take the big walk up the hill or not for that monk check.
If you have Mog, I mean, there's 2 checks right there, so...
They started with didn't they start with Mog?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
so
you started with Mog.
Yeah,
That could have been the very first thing you did.
With 3 characters, it's not bad, because 2 get to still fight the boss. Especially if you have... they had some early Ice Rods, I think, and Super Balls. So yeah, it could have played out very differently.
TheShwantz is picking up his Fenrir, which has the Life 3 and the Flare in it, so we'll find that out in a second. He finally has some decent spell that he can use here. Whenever he takes a look at it. Right now trying to heal his party up.
So Fantastadon actually has now 7 characters. What do you think about going for the check, Saberwolf? Do you think it'd be worth it? Fantastadon doesn't do the skip, Holgart says. I wasn't asking Fantastadon, I was asking Saberwolf, but... shoot. I'll just interject. I also do not do the skip in this unless, like, I'm forced to, basically. If I'm 2 characters away, I am not searching for 2 characters to skip one boss.
Yeah,
if
I mean...
1 away and I know where it is, then I would probably do it.
If I got a character... Would there be... No, there wouldn't be a character in the first 2 checks of a Magitech facility. The only way you could get a character would be through the Opera House, or... I hate to say this, but Floating Island. Or the Gao's house.
And he gets a Carbuncle. That is not a dead check, so just 2 more for Fantastadon. Assuming I did it right.
Yep, and TheShwantz is picking up their 7th character, so he is he's still an Esper behind. We did pick up an extra dragon, so you get a little extra levels there.
He was doing some pretty good damages, though, so our racers definitely looking close to ready for Kefka, if not ready already.
TheShwantz actually might have 7 Espers. I might have missed one, because he did get the free Dune Gaze there when he was traveling through the sky there, which Fantastadon didn't do. And again, we want to remind people, these aren't the 2 only runners here. We actually have 2 other runners running the same exact seed at the same exact time. And the lowest and the slowest time is out of this Battle Royale Eliminator series.
Yeah, levels are low 30s, which is... I would be happy with that at this point of the seed. I mean, 33, 31. You can go to Kefka with those levels, it just is harder. but they still got a few more checks to do. Maybe grab the Opera House Dragon and get some quick experience if they haven't done that already.
Oh, I would reset. Fantastadon would be very wise to do a reset right now if he saved decently, because he just got a dead check on the T-Zen Thief, and it just added 10 levels to Kefka.
Does
to final
it change
Kefka.
Kefka's hit points or
No, but
anything?
it does
But
change
it
his
does make
abilities, and it does change his
makes him hit
damage.
harder for sure. So that is a sketchy play. So we'll see how happy he is. It doesn't. He's not resetting.
No,
So
he's not
he maybe
resetting.
feels good about his
so,
damage.
Yeah, I mean,
That is a bold move there, Fantastadon. So I salute you. And going to Magitech, as was predicted by Green Monkey. He thinks both of our runners will go to Magitech at this point in the game. I mean, I would. It seems to be the obvious play. First two checks at Magitech are fast, and they both are very likely to be Magicite. So.
hey, wait a minute. I said it first, and I said it like 10 minutes ago. Don't even.
Oh, come on. It's because I was asking you, because that's what I wanted you to say.
That's what I said.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
You're right.
Green Monkey
You're right.
also said it in the chat. So, ooh, fixed dice for sale. Gotta check them vector
More fixed
shots.
dice. Hey.
Love the Schwantz and Fantastadon. No one checks the vector shot. Well, it's a rare shop to check, and I love that they're both doing so, because I always check these. It's a bit late to be buying fixed dice, but early in a seed, that can be your key to breaking through the seed, is grabbing those, as they penetrate any kind of armor, any defenses, and can do some amazing damages early. And late, for that matter. They're just not consistent, so... They're consistent if you have a Dragon Horn or an Offering, but they're not fast with an Offering. And this is fantastic. Look at these two doing the Magitech at the exact same time. Best music in Final Fantasy VI, except for maybe the Opera House. Maybe.
Oh, Opera House had one of the best songs of all time. Don't even.
And then, yeah, we get to see them side by side, see how they handle this boss here.
Yeah, this is going to be really interesting. I'm trying to figure out if the Schwantz does have a Esper I didn't miss, though. So I'm trying to check down on that right now.
Yeah, did Fantastadon get one? Who ran into Doomgaze?
Was the Schwantz. This is why I'm trying to figure out if it might be an Esper off here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe. We're doing our best here, so... Ooh, they've got Quick, though. Quick is a very, very good spell, especially for the characters who have high damage. Just increases your damage per turn potential. Stops the enemy from getting turns. That can be extremely useful while fighting Kefka, getting through, skipping those Meteos.
Okay, yeah, I was way off. He's currently at 7 characters and 8 Espers, actually.
Oh, is he? Interesting.
Yeah, so I was off on that.
Ooh, Fire 3, Life 2. Is that what he just got? Was Ramu? Fantastadon? Just got a Magicite. He's up to 8 then. Yeah, so this is super close then. If they both are 7 and 8. They've ran basically the same seed, so it makes sense that they should have the same. I haven't been tracking dragons because they're not required for this seed. So I'm not sure how many Fantastadon has actually fought.
Okay, but he didn't pick up Shadow, so that's the difference why he has 6. Okay.
And Ifrit. Let's see what they have. So Ifrit, very strong physical defense. And the only magic you can use on him is non-elemental, like Blowfish, which is a great play.
French
or
vanilla,
Ice Magic, obviously. Oh yeah, absolutely. But the Atma weapon doesn't care about what your defenses are. It cuts right through them. Ragnarok actually did a pretty good job, too. Remember that Rag was hitting for 3,000-4,000 against other people, but against Ifrit, it'll still do 1,000. Flare, not a fire magic spell like in a lot of Final Fantasy games. It is a non-elemental, so it will work just fine on Ifrit. Ifrit doesn't have a ton of hit points, so this should be a pretty quick fight.
No, but after a couple of abilities, it will switch over to Shiva if you don't kill it quick enough.
Yeah, he got it, no problem. So.
Nope, it switched.
But not Schwantz. Yeah.
So now you gotta start the process all over again because each Infert and Shiva has their own hit point pool. So you basically have to start from scratch here when you switch over. What was the reward?
Fantastadon finding a behemoth suit. So he could be a Senor Behemoth.
So that's
not what he was looking for.
No, so that's you have to do part 3 then. Unless you want to do Floating Island. But TheShwantz doesn't know that because he doesn't have Shadow.
Yeah, he doesn't want to do Opera House. That's a Celeste check that they do have. That's not bad. This is better than that. So, with the levels, I mean, 29 for Gogo, 31 for Mog. I don't know. This isn't a terrible MTech. I like MTech 3.
TheShwantz is backing out.
I'll get a lot of experience. Oh, I wonder where he thinks his next check is going to be.
He's gonna go. He's probably gonna go Upper House, and he does have Celeste in the party. Thank you.
Yeah, he did. He threw her on.
He chose Celeste over.
Oh,
Realm.
he didn't do the
Let's
free
put it
check.
that
So
way.
He's gonna run do the free check.
Oh, that's right. He hasn't done the free check yet, which was.
If I remember right, it was dead, right?
I think it was dead. Yeah, it wasn't in the economizer.
An economizer or something that they definitely
Which
do
is
not
helpful, but don't get it wrong.
Oh.
That is helpful actually. As he's actually doing a little bit of extra looting here.
It can be. Oh yeah, he's found some awesome stuff here. So the Pearl Lance and
Blizzard does have magic power built into it, so that's a little helpful.
Ooh, Didalos and Veterans, not a mob you normally like to see.
No.
But at this late in the game, he should have the damage and it's great experience. But he says, nope, we got to get through this faster.
Oh, sorry,
fixed dice. That's right.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Which they were not happy about, I'm sure.
Oh,
not
he's probably rumping right now.
Didalos is undead. Really? So you can just quick use a Revivify on him. I did not know that. I thought he was one of those flaming undead chariots that's weak to fire and not undead.
Yeah, that's
just like
that's the boss.
Looks just like him.
Yeah, the boss that looks just like this. They use the same sprite. Yes, is the Guardian. Okay, a lot of high price items there. But yeah, that's the boss version.
Yeah, you can see how much these are end game mobs. They are doing a lot of damage, and Edgar being the only one to die. That's a first.
Yeah, I mean he can afford him to die since he has like good 3 to 5 levels on the rest of the party. So.
Yeah, he would be fine. But then you're not using that experience egg that you definitely need to use. So I would also fight those and grab that experience. I think I'm 10,000. You get that from bosses. So
looks like TheShwantz is going to do the Mog and Kefka Narsh checks.
Okay, not a bad play either. We know that there's a Magicite up there, so there's a Magicite and a Shadow, but he'll get the Shadow first.
4.
He will get his 9th. He will get his 9th as we're here, so. Oh, that was a Solar Plex right to Go-Go.
Gut punch.
Fire X Magic Fire 3 doing its job. Almost breaking the quad 9 barrier there. It was awesome damage. 5,000 from the Rag.
Now, like we mentioned before, and we want to keep repeating it because we only see 2 racers running on our screens right now, but there are 2 other racers that are also running this race. And we are getting close to that 120, 130 range where people start to finish these kind of seeds. So, I mean, earlier today we had a seed where somebody finished, I think it was like 120, 128 and 127 today on a similar kind of flags. So we're starting to get to the area where people are going to start finishing up Final Kefka here. So.
Have you ran any of these yet, Saberwolf?
I ran several of these get to prepare, get some used to it and stuff like that. The big thing I found is that a lot of these checks that you're finding in the seeds are at the tail end of like Lede River and the Serpent Trench and stuff like that. So a lot of these checks have been very gated. As the Schwantz is going to find character number 7 with the Shadow here.
What's your PB, Wolf?
For these ones?
This flag set specifically, yeah. The
Oh,
BR
I am not a great racer. Oh, he's gonna no, he's not gonna go for
He goes
Shadow.
for the
I'm
Genji
sorry,
helmet. He
he's
doesn't
dipping
even
him.
care. He's like, I don't need a 7th character. Our loot, our gear kind of
Ah!
sucks. I'll just grab the helmet. That or he did it for the laughs. Oh,
Oh
shoot.
my goodness
And
gracious.
it's Shadow, of course, the one we all killed as children because we didn't know we had to wait to the last second to grab him.
Oh,
So
and ends up dying at the end of the game.
Oh,
That's Gao, Gao, Gao!
going through MTech 3 for Gao. Oh no.
Well, I
he
mean,
was wanting either.
Well, if you keep, well, I mean, you're only one more character away from doing a skip, so.
And there's Dulahan, who we were talking about. Not undead, wreathed in flames. So
Yes.
what is he? He's weak to fire, of course. Only in Final Fantasy VI, so. Oh, Fantastadon. I'm sure he didn't want to do Magitech 3 and then having to do it for a character he didn't need.
And what I just say? What
Awesome.
did I just say on these checks that you find what the last thing you need is? At the end of Serpent Trench now.
Ooh, and Schwantz just misses the skip. We'll see a quick smoke bomb, I'm sure, out of these
Oh
level
God,
90,
yes.
level 16 magics. A terrible fight to see.
Anytime you see level something magic, you just want to say, nope, I'm out.
You get no experience. They're really difficult. Yeah,
Yep.
You just get out. Where's Fantastadon? Oh, he's doing a shadow check. We got shadow. So this is a peekable check. Awesome play.
Interesting.
And this is one of the best peekable checks because if it won't show an NPC if it is a Magicite. It will show an actual Magicite, so he'll know exactly what's at this check. One of the very few checks in this game.
So if this is not an Esper, he will be resetting off this.
So I missed what your PB was.
2 hours, 10 minutes, 2 hours, 5 minutes.
Yeah. So
I'm not one of the faster runners in our community. I do decent. I know some people do like 3 hours in this stuff sometimes. I mean, so I'm decent. You?
I've only run one practice and I got 80 minutes exactly, so I was like, that's good. I don't need any more practice. Right. So started with amazing things and found easy bosses, of course, but that shows how this can go. These seeds can go. So they can be incredibly easy where you're finishing 80 minutes in, or they can have an average clear time of about 2 hours for experienced runners. So.
Yep, and the Schwantz got his 9th Esper, so he has unlocked Kefka, and his Fantastadon does see an Esper on the ground, so that will be unlocking Kefka for them, depending on what this boss fight's going to be.
And now it is
Drumroll.
a trickier question. Do you get a character?
Oh, it's Welch. All right.
Do you grab a character and then run to Kefka, or do you just go straight there? We heard in the chat.
There's no quick check.
Fantastadon doesn't do skip. But
there's no quick check. I mean, the quickest check you got is you have to kick out a character from your party and check the Velt.
That's super fast.
I don't even think you have dried meat right now.
But it's not peekable, so.
It's not peekable either. Well, I mean, it kind of is. I mean, you'll see who appears on the screen if it's a character or not. So you can just do like run away or just smack him in the face and make him go away.
I believe he goes straight to Kefka, but
yeah, I would just go straight to Kefka. You're an hour, 20 minutes in. You have the levels. Just go.
But if Gao was a character, that's the problem. Is he just doesn't know? Because if Gao was a character, that would be faster than going straight to Kefka for sure.
Yeah. I mean, that's the only the only other option of checks you have is floating continent. And what is it? The Serpent Trench.
Yeah, an opera house.
The opera house. I mean, those are long checks. The only quick one would be the Velt. And the only option when it has it, we have Schwantz going into the final Kefka Tower at 1:20:20 here.
Let's skip the date, I guess. Magicite for him. All right. So Kefka Tower, like we've been saying,
He is going to go to
this
Kefka
is
Tower, so
what
we're not going to go try for
you
that.
spend. He does go straight. That's what I would do too, honestly. I don't have the luck to. I don't have Zelfer luck. I can't just go grab one last thing and then get exactly what I need, and then go to Kefka's Tower.
Yeah.
So, just
Now, don't
super
forget,
close
though,
times. Only what, a minute between them again. Jumping into between Kefka's Tower. This has been a fantastic race. It's great to see a close race. So you love to
oh
see it.
yes. And also, just want to remind people that Fantastadon does have a plus 10 level penalty to Kefka's final Kefka here. So there is going to be a slightly, I guess you could say, harder mode for Fantastadon than the Schwantz has, as they are going into the tower at the exact same time. So keep that in mind as we go through final Kefka here.
So to explain Kefka's Tower really quickly. Team 3, first starts off with Hit On. Luckily he was able to save right
Hide and the
before it,
Hydenites.
so it's not that terrible. But this Team 3 is going to have to fight a boss here and then 2 more bosses after the switches. Where the other characters are only going to have to fight 1 statue boss. So you usually put your best team in the 3rd position spot, not only to handle those boss fights, but to also get the more experience. The dangerous part of this is after he saves here, there's not another save spot until he's moved all of his characters onto the switches and then proceeds to the next boss. So it's a long time between this fight and the next one. So typically a racer will save immediately after this fight, even though they just saved right before it, because they don't get another chance for a while and can set them way back. Their party is split up. They only have about 2 characters in each, so all the bosses, which are now much higher levels, are going to be very difficult, or potentially, depending on who they find. And then they have Kefka.
Yep, and also just a quick reminder. Also, if you did do the skip, that Team 3 it actually becomes Team 2, because that 3rd team does end up in the middle when you try to do the skip, as the Schwantz takes down the first boss.
So Hidden and the Hiddenites can be very difficult. They can confuse or zombie your characters, which then they turn and start fighting you. So it's always great to see that go quickly, because that can be a very dangerous fight depending on your build and what characters you have. So Fantastadon going in with a completely different team, it looks like.
Yeah, going with a Go-Go, Celeste, and Edgar, as opposed to just Cyan.
But I believe he has Fire 3 on everybody, which will do quite a bit of damage to all of them. So.
And again, if you want to follow us, we got the Schwantz and Fantastadon. Those are other Twitch channels that we're currently watching and restreaming thanks to Speed Gaming. He is Hashmalum. I am Saberwolf. You can check us out on our Twitch channels as well.
Yep, absolutely. Thanks for that. So Fantastadon looks like he's not having much of a problem either, having 2 people with Throw and Edgar, who's his best character on Hiddenites, should be no problem for him.
Best survivor, you mean?
Yes, exactly.
I mean,
he just did 9,000 damage there with that attack too. So
I've been finding this a lot.
Shield.
I've been finding, yeah, that was a late Thunder Shield that Fantastadon also found. But I'm finding this also lately that a lot of people are running their their other 2 runners, the other 2 racers, not the first one, because the first one has to have 2. There's 2 points during their route of the first group that is blocked that the second and third group have to unlock for them. So I'm finding it lately that a lot of racers are doing this, running the second and third groups first to unlock their path for their first group, so the first group can just run right straight through, instead of having to switch between each one. I've noticed that a lot of people doing that lately.
That's definitely what I do. I like to start with third, because it's terrible to go through first and third and then first and second, get to the third and die there. But I mean, if you're saving, you should be fine anyway. But you start with third, get him to the switch. Then when second gets to the switch, then you can just move him off immediately, switch to third, move him off, and then first has a straight path. It has a good flow to it, instead of having to switch to move him off of a weight or do whatever. Like, we'll have to see Fantastadon will do. So.
Mm-hmm. And we
I
show their
don't know if
big buff
any of it.
physiques with 40-ton weights here.
I
4-ton
don't know if
weights.
any of it's actually faster or smoother or whatever. It's a racer preference.
It's
There's no.
optimizing. I mean, you know.
Everybody does it completely differently, so I don't know if any are actually better. Because if so, none of us have picked up on what's the best because we all do it differently.
We're seeing about a 20-second difference here between the Schwantz and Fantastadon, so this is a very close race. We do have, like I said, we do have 2 other people running that have not clocked in yet. We will let you know if the other racers do clock in as we get to the final Kefka here.
And the Guardian fight. So it's been a long time since they saved, and they get
French Vanilla Inferno. Oof.
Inferno's a very difficult boss. He just put that Thunder Shield on Celeste, by the way, instead of a Flame Shield, so this will be a much easier fight for him.
And that bolt throw that she has for almost 3,000 damage is definitely going to be helpful.
And lots of damage from this guy. He can do delta hits to stone your characters. Yeah, he can be very difficult. So looks like our runners are very prepared for this fight, though.
Well, I would say prepared, but on Fantastadon, Celeste only has 1 HP.
And there she goes to a Shrapnel. Shrapnel, one of the, like I said, a very difficult, or very strong physical attack. Inferno, though, weak to Bolt, going down pretty quickly for the Schwantz, so that's good to see. Yeah,
a lot of your machines in Final Fantasy VI is very weak to electrical attacks. So definitely have those planned when you face anything that has to do with the magic ability like that. No!
That was just terribly unfortunate again, Fantastadon. That fight should have gone way better for him. He had the things he needed to do the damage, and he just got hit with some really bad abilities by Inferno, which Inferno can do. And now he has to... Oh, and he didn't save after the fight, so he has to fight the Hidden and the Hiddenites again. That you hate to see. Absolutely. I've been there. I feel for him. It's rough.
And a French Vanilla Guardian and a statue.
So, Monkey, I don't think the plus 10 levels apply to these bosses, right? It's if these bosses got plus 10 levels if they did Auction House. The plus 10 levels the final Kefka for Zen Thief only applies to Kefka, not these.
I believe it says final battle, so I think that applies to Kefka, not the statues. Although one could argue that the statues are part of the final Kefka, but I think it just applies just to Kefka. To Kefka 1 through 4. That's more of a question, I think, for Franklin or Atma for that one. So
yeah, I think that's how that works. But of course, I don't really know what I'm doing. I just played this game, so talk about it.
I enjoy playing this game. That's all I care about. And I say the same thing. As the Celeste is definitely throwing down the bolt edges for 7,000 damage.
So this is a pretty rough tower. I mean, Hidden the Hiddenites, hard boss. Inferno, hard boss. Guardian, hard boss. But, so you're like, oh, so they're in the clear, right? Should we say it? There's still Goddess out there. Goddess is a very
There's
difficult
still Doom
boss
out
at
there.
any time. Doom is still out there. They did.
Magimaster's still out there.
Magimaster, how we found Doomgaze?
Doomgaze is still out there.
Oh, Doomgaze is still out there. So there's still plenty of really difficult bosses left in this seed. So it'll be fun to see what happens. Or they could run into
Pyro's favorite Dataluma is still out there.
Dataluma, yeah.
I will note another thing, that there is no X Zone. There's no Doom. There's no instant death of Odin or Raiden. So that's gonna be a little problem, as we have a renamed card saying thank Cyan.
We'll rename the other one to you or something. Oh, thank. Oh, nice. Thank Gaming. Thanks, Speed Gaming.
Yay! Thanks, Speed Gaming. Shout out for the Schwantz.
Bogart says Magimaster's and Saban's fall check. Okay, so he might have seen that on one of the other streams. I only have these two pulled up. I can't.
Okay, well,
keep up with too much,
the running
so.
is still going on, so please don't put spoilers in chat, all right? We still got other people running right now. Which is interesting when you say that means Saban was available, but okay.
Tritalk is actually can be a very difficult boss at this stage if you don't have means of dealing damage to him, as pretty much only fire magic hurts him. So
yeah, fire magic, fixed dice, atma weapon,
yeah, non-elemental stuff, damage penetration will, yeah.
Yeah, damage, ignoring.
Now, Fantastadon, let's see if he goes right up and fights this Inferno again, or switches to a more reliable team. Yep, that's exactly what I would do too. I would go fight with another team and see if they can get a quick save.
Well, this one's been kind of lucky with Tritalks for now, as we've only been seeing just the Surge coming out. It does have Fire 2, it's not Fire 3, but it's still getting the job done.
Yeah, Tritalk's a pushover. He doesn't have very many hit points. This should go pretty quick.
But now we got Cold Dust coming out. Now we're interesting in trouble. I did see one run earlier today, another race that that on Kefka 2, the entire 4-man party got frozen on one kill. All at the same time on Kefka 2.
Oh, that's the worst.
So yeah.
Oh, and Cyan with that Atma weapon doing 7,000 damage to Tritalk. This will be a very quick fight for him. However, he elected to rage, I guess, with Shadow, who is now Rage White Dragon, who throws pearls for 0 damage. So having to watch the animation is rough enough, but there he goes. Thank you, Speed Gaming.
So we're setting up the thank you memes here for the last Kefka battle. So he's going to put them in that order.
Hopefully he doesn't mess it up. You thanks, Gaming Speed.
Yeah, yeah, you'd be that person in the crowd that misspells the word on your stomach in the 20-degree weather. Well, we do have Fenrir. Fenrir is the important part of this, I guess, because the calmness at third stage is the part you're worried about as we get to our last statue, which is Flame Eater. Okay, so not too bad.
The curse. See? There's no such thing as commentator's curse. I tried.
No, we did have Vanilla, Inferno, and Guardian, though. I mean,
that was pretty great.
French Vanilla, rather. But yeah.
Another elemental boss, really strong defense. Any magic damage will absolutely wreck him.
This is where that lore walk break would have come in handy. This is where lore aqua rake would have come in handy now.
Oh yeah, absolutely. For any ice spell, if a realm had anything at all. But
well, that's going to be a dead realm here in a second.
Yeah, you might not remember him casting Flare Star. That will be the elemental scaling. So.
Ooh, but we do have a problem. We have a jump with. They have Exploder here. This could be bad. Oh, that's half his life. So if another one explodes, we're gonna have a problem. As another one does explode,
I probably would have jumped just to get out of there to see if he could avoid any more of those explosions.
What was I about to say was he has jump. He also has Dragon Horn, so he can't just jump on a single target. So he's gonna jump on some of the other targets as well. But now that they exploded themselves, I guess he could probably just start jumping again.
Yeah, for sure.
As Fantastadon, not that far behind. I mean, he's doing the same exact check here, so...
And he has realm. Well, he is, but he still needs to go fight that Inferno fight that he's been avoiding. Oh, and Gao has Shock. Gao always hoards all the best abilities. So, unless you get him early, then he has Capture and Sketch. So
this is like the 3rd or 4th scene in a row I've seen Gao with Shock.
He seems to get it a lot for the runs I see, too. And hopefully that does it for Schwantz, and it does. So that's all of his bosses down. He will be into Kefka. So Kefka is a very difficult boss. There are some key things that you need. The first stage will just do physical attacks. The best way to mitigate it is Kefka's right arm is susceptible to instant death, which we think is missing this seed. They might try fighting with a striker, I guess, if they have that. But I haven't really seen anything else that can do instant death to take that arm out quicker. And then the head is weak to fire, which they will use to take that out first. Because if they don't take out the head first, what happens is they will cast Quake on death, which is an incredibly powerful spell. So here we go, Schwantz into Kefka at about 136. And I'm excited for Fantastadon to see how he does on this Inferno fight. Inferno weak. Oh, Schwantz messed something up. What did he do wrong? He just took a quick reset. Did he mess up the order of his team? Is that Magicite? Oh, he wanted to take off the experience eggs. Okay. If that was my mistake, I might have just ran with it. It depends on what relics he really wanted to put on. So we'll see what he goes with. The Economizer, I mean, I don't know how much he's going to be casting, but does he have anyone with a True Knight? Does he have anybody with a Valiant Knife? I don't believe so. I don't think we saw any of those this seed. And Fantastadon fighting his Inferno fight again. That hit really hard. That's Sobat. Sobat usually doesn't hit for very much damage. I don't think I've ever seen it hit for 3,000. That is interesting. Thank you, Speed Mog. That's what he did. Oh no. That's really funny. But he took it for the memes. He even reset. Oh no, just kidding. Oh, okay. Oh, that would be fantastic though. That would be something I would do. Absolutely. Have these fun ideas and then just fail to execute them terribly, so. Wave cannon before he can get his quick off.
Yeah, but that healed him at least, so that's a good thing.
Killed Edgar, killed his go-go though.
Thank you, Speed Gaming Go-Go.
Go-Go! Oh, shoot. And there's a quick 9,000 damage, but not enough yet to finish off this Inferno.
Oh, we have Break. Okay, Break does do instant death. It's not, I don't know how accurate it is.
It's pretty accurate. I think it works.
Oh, we got it.
Yeah, I feel
Okay.
like it works really well on the long arm. I don't think you can use it on tools though.
Oof.
Or machine or whatever the second part of Kefka Tower is.
And the throw
And
coming
there
out
he
of
goes,
Celeste.
getting through the Inferno fight. Good job, Fantastadon. So that is his last boss, and he will be, again, roughly a minute behind the Schwantz jumping into Kefka.
So the Swans is doing Kefka. So this is Kefka Part 1. The goal is to try to get Long Arm first, which was the break, instant death, like Doom and like that. You get rid of that first, and you go for the head. The head is susceptible to fire. So you can usually get that second, and you get Short Arm, which is that little fist there on the left side and left hand. You want to get that last, because if you hit that first before he dies, it can be very bad damage to you. As we move on to Tier 2. Short Arm, yeah.
Arms
Short
are
Arm.
the same length.
Yeah, I know. And we move on to Tier 2 if we want to talk about Tier 2.
Yeah, so Tier 2 is a very interesting fight. This is often... oh, look, Fantastadon had what? Guardian. I forgot all about the Guardian fight. But Tier 2 is a very technical fight. On the far left, you have Magic, who's susceptible to mute. If you do not mute him, he is going to be casting all kinds of nasty spells at you. Machine, which is right next to the lady in red there, is susceptible to instant death. So it also will cast a lot of status effect and other spells on you, so you need to take that out as quickly as possible. With those two out of the fight, you would think it could be easy, but then you have Tiger, who loves to imp and zombie and cast nasty magic as well. So you'll see our racers target the Tiger to kill that as quickly as possible. And then since machine tools will be dead and magic won't be doing anything, Power, or whatever the blue guy is called, will be their next target, because when he dies...
Man.
Yeah, the blue guy. He will do 10 hits, 10 physical attacks, so he's not a good idea to kill last. because those 10 hits then might kill one of your characters and you'll have no chance of reviving him. So it's preferable to kill him right before then finishing off magic. Magic will get through a few counter spells, which can be bad. He can end with a quarter and a dispel, even though he's muted, which if tier 3 opens with Merton or something can be very bad, but typically it's still better to kill power first.
Yeah, and it looks like he still has machine up there. He didn't use the break on the machine.
Oh, did you see Edgar on Fantastadon's screen? He got his limit break for quad 9 damage.
Is that Royal Shock, was it?
I didn't see the name, but I saw him do it. I was like, wait, what just happened? And then yeah. Oh, 14 hit point Edgar, do it!
Nope, not quite.
And he's slow. Ah!
Get
quite Fantastadon
hit more.
Having a bad time with these bosses today. He's gotta be feeling it.
Oh, he's gonna drop a
Thunder Rod. Better finish it off. That should do it.
Yeah, that's gonna be definitely no 7,000. Okay, was good enough.
K2 has best Kefka music. Fight me. Yeah, Pyro. I probably have to agree. Actually, much as I like arguing and fighting with people, I think you're right.
So at this point, we're in a like Hash said, like when Magic Zone 1 left, it's a good time to start resetting your health, getting ready for the last 2 fights. You kind of want to get your health back up before you want to finish off the magic, because he really can't do anything to you because he's muted. So, but he will cast Dispel twice on the same target before he dies. Even though he's muted, he'll still cast that spell, and we'll move on to Tier 3. Now, Tier 3 is only 2 targets. It is the floating head of a female girl in the back, that we call girl sometimes. And in the front, you have sleep or rest. So you want to kill the girl first. She has 9,999 HP. She absorbs all the elements. So you want to hit her with just physical damage, jumps, flare, anything that has non-elemental damage. And then after you get rid of her, then it's kind of a dance with sleep. The more damage you deal to sleep, the more agitated he gets, and the more damaging and more scary his spells become. You get to a point where he gets so low in health, he starts casting Meteo nonstop, and starts just wrecking havoc on your party, because Meteo is magic damage attack that ignores your magic defense. And some people get into a hole and you just can't get out of it sometimes.
Yeah, so Rest has about 40,000 hit points. So he does those counters in the last 10,000. So you'll see, so our runners will often count that. They'll wait to see to where they get close to 30,000 damage to him, and then they'll break out like a quick, and then do two attacks that'll break that quad 9 limit break damage, which this might do for Edgar. To get him right into the calmness stage, where he skips all of the counter meteos and then just tries to insta-kill him with calmness, which is a physical attack. And he is able to do it with no meteo counters. That was risky, because
no, he did
have
Fenrir.
Damage.
No, he did
Fenrir. He did have Fenrir.
Yeah, he did cast Fenrir.
It was risky for the meteos, because he wasn't doing over quad 9s with anybody. He was really lucky not to get one right in the face.
No, yep. So that's when you when you get down close like that, you do want to cast your Fenrir or Golem. That is the counter to the calmness die. And last but not least, we have Kefka number 4.
All right, what's your strategy with Kefka number 4, Saberwolf?
Honestly, my strategy for Kefka number 4 is wait for Fallen One to use my Mega Elixir, which this once has, because he did prepare for that in the item shop. So he does have a Mega Elixir on him. Wait for the final Fallen One to get my Mega Elixir back up, to get everybody back up to full health and full mana, and I just YOLO. Honestly.
All right.
I just YOLO it. I do wait a little bit till he charges Goner, then I go full blast again. But honestly, I just YOLO.
All right, so before he does Fallen 1, it's a free-for-all. Go ahead, throw as much damage at him as you want. He's not going to do anything to you. You can break that cap to even skip him from doing that. I think it's 20,000 damage, I think. After that, every time you attack him, it could result in a hyperdrive or which is the worst one right here. But he can physical attack, and he could Havoc Wing. Havoc Wing and physical attacks will be broken. Will likely be dodged by the Fenrir, so he's not too worried about those. But Hyperdrive is obviously, we've seen a ton of damage. But he won't counter while doing this. So now's the time, take off your elemental shields, break whatever you can, do as much damage as possible to get that 65,000 damage to kill Kefka before Goner can go off. And he did it. GG to the Schwantz. We will pull him in for an interview. I don't know how. Yeah, GG to him in the chat. Yeah, interesting. If we can figure it out, we'll pull in the Schwantz. I believe he is our winner. I will check our Discord really quick.
Yep, and we're not going to click done yet because we still have 3 other runners running right now. So when Fantastadon finishes, then we'll click done. This is not a head-to-head match. So we actually have 2 other runners running right now. So Fantastadon's not finished yet.
Oh, but the Schwantz did finish in first, so good job to the Schwantz.
All right.
Oh, there he goes. He's in the waiting room. So you ready to pull him in, Saber Wolf? Or...
Yep, let's pull him on. Yep, let's pull him on in.
Hey, the Schwantz.
Yo, hey, how's it going?
GG, congrats on the run.
Thank you.
That was a rather difficult one. What do you think?
Yeah, I had a lot of trouble with all of the bosses in this seed.
With all of them.
I don't know if it was because I scaled up way too much, way too fast, or if I know in Kefka's Tower all the bosses were pretty terrible, right?
Yeah,
well,
absolutely.
Your first boss of the whole game was spicy chicken.
Yeah, beef and spice.
I did my best to commentator's curse you guys with the goddess right there at the end, but it didn't work. You got Flame Eater. I was really disappointed by that. That was too easy.
I got very,
worst.
very nervous because I know that there's been talk recently about Flare Star and how it works on people's levels and not necessarily what the boss's level is. So I got a little scared because Mog did not have elemental protection, but he got through it. I was super scared when I saw Shadow at Kefka and Narsh. I thought to myself, oh my god, did I take the completely wrong path in the seed? Because I ran into Poltergeist and I was like, you know what? I saw Super Balls for sale into Zen. I have Go-Go, who can mimic anything, so let me go pick up a fat stack of Super Balls, and that's how I'll get past my first couple of bosses. And it turns out that I probably still needed a fat stack halfway through the seed.
Well, one of the blessings...
did that fast. That was
did.
Awesome play right there. To run, grab those Super Balls. You knew where they were, and you went and did that check. It didn't really slow you down that much, I'd say.
Yeah, I actually thought to myself, should I reset? And when I was halfway down there, and I'm like, you know what? The boss can't be that bad, can it? And of course, it's the hardest boss in the game, basically.
One of them for sure.
Well, one of the blessings in disguise is actually you ran into the Doom Gaze check when you turned around out of the Zozo. I think you turned around and you hit Doom Gaze, which gave you like almost one of your last espers you needed.
Yeah, I thought that was... I was like, okay, this better be something good because nobody else will get it, right? And it was okay. It had, I think, Strength +1 on it. But yeah, I definitely thought that was interesting how my run just completely like steamrolled on its own, right? It'll be interesting to watch the side by side to see
what it had was a quick check. So Fantastadon did not have that. You two went into Magitech Factory almost the exact same time.
Always love a sync.
Yeah, which was awesome. There was a lot of that this race though, because neither of you did Kefka and Narsh early and got Shadow for a different path, which very well could have happened, but neither of you did that. You both did that roughly the end. And so with this, Edgar basically having one path, Mog having one path, and Gogo having, well, no path.
Nothing. Yeah.
Nothing. Exactly. Meant you did almost the exact same thing. I mean, you looted slightly different, whatnot.
Right.
You were able to grab the 2 Magicite, or I forget what it was exactly, but you were able to grab the rewards from Magitech Factory and warp out after 2. But Fantastadon didn't. He still needed another Magicite, so he said, I'm just going to finish 3, and he did 3 and found a Gao.
Yeah.
So the poor guy had 8 characters at the end. 8 characters is the worst.
Yeah, at that point, I did not want to. I didn't want to keep going, even though I still felt a little underleveled. I had 2 experience eggs, and I still felt underleveled somehow. I guess it was just the boss difficulty in the seed. I did a few things for the memes as well. I hope that everybody saw that when I chose the
absolutely.
Genji.
Yes,
You know, I would have felt so stupid if Kefka at Norse was not an Esper and I chose the Genji helmet over Shadow, because then I would have had to trudge my poor lonely self all the way back to the mines to pick up Shadow and then go do some of his checks. That would have been my just desserts, but I figured you guys would enjoy it on the stream, picking the Genji helmet over Shadow.
Yeah, absolutely. We had a good laugh at that. I think Saber Wolf thought you had actually lost your mind when you did that.
Well, that was the reason why. I was gambling on the fact that Kefka at Norse was my final Esper. If it wasn't, then you had every right to laugh at me.
You would have been in trouble.
Oh,
yeah, both of you, when you saw that, you're like, seriously? Like, you could see your characters not move on the screen and be like, really?
I was hoping it was something so much better. I made a few mistakes during my run, too. Like, I didn't check the monster in a boxes in Ancient Castle, even though I had an Atma weapon, because I thought to myself, oh, I'm just going to go to Zozo, do the clock, get the dragon horn, and I could do Pogo Atma weapon. And then I forgot to myself, oh, wait, I have 2 jumpers and not 1. So that's why I switched up Siam to just attacking at the end. And, you know, Atma weapon for 8,000 is pretty good.
Yeah, fantastadon's doing the same thing right now, so...
Awesome. Well, I'll be interested to see, you know, if I run this seed, like, on my own again, and if I choose Shadow first, how differently the whole thing plays out, you know, if I run into a wall there, or if it's...
Do you want spoilers or no?
Sure, why not?
Dr. DT says that the other 2 runners who are still going did that, and went and got Shadow, which led to Sabin, which led to Terra.
Yeah, so it would have been a completely
different seed.
Yeah, so that's one of the things I love about Worlds Collide, is that with the fact that it's not necessarily a special item hunt, it's more of a, can you get to these requirements hunt? You could take radically different routes through a seed and still get to the end and finish off. So that's pretty awesome.
And Fantastadon here coming up to the finish with some Thunder Shields. It should be close enough right there.
This should be it. Oh, and Edgar
that's a miss.
And then they
Don't
get a
laugh into a gutter. Oh,
you hate to see it happen.
That's like following the pitchback with bases loaded there.
He's got thousands of hit points. He's fine. So.
It's like ending the game on a balk, right?
Oh, man.
Did almost no damage to Cyan, who then swings and finishes
but
it.
That's the Kapow.
Fantastadon.
He's a finish of 153.40. He is the second finisher. So our other 2 runners that actually did the Shadow, Sabin, and the Terra, they're actually finishing behind you guys. So maybe the Edgar narrow check may have been the right choice. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe they had Goddess
very interesting.
Cyan's Dream or something.
Very, very interesting. I want to thank you guys for doing commentary. Thanks to the Speed Gaming staff for restreaming it and hosting it. Can't have the show without the people behind the scenes. So thank you so much, and feels good to get a W.
Awesome. Definitely, and we'll see you. And we'll see you in week 4.
Great, thank you.
That's on the win.
Bye-bye.
We'll see if we can get Fantastadon here. Or yeah, we have time for that, right?
Yeah, we got a quick minute here. We got we haven't been flagged yet. Let's put it that way.
See.
Yeah, we're reminding people that our other 2 runners, which is Edgeworth running on
already. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, the other 2 runners that we have is Edgeworth and Mark. They're running at Edge's Stream and Erosions 55. So they're still running right now in the background. So quick shout out to those 2. The third place person will be moving on to the week 4 here, as we can see if we have Fantastadon for interview really quick.
Fantastadon, GG.
Hey.
GG, thank you very much.
So second place in the clubhouse here. So how did that go for the early bosses there?
I thought these battle royale scenes were supposed to be fast.
Right.
This was like
Sub
skin
2
in my
hours.
teeth for the first hour. Yeah, well, hey, nothing wrong with sub 2 hour.
Some people are posting
yeah, I mean,
sub
we
80
saw, like,
though, so for sure. I know what you're saying.
Yeah. I mean, thank all the gods that I found that Ragnarok sword in Albrook, or I don't know what would have happened.
Yeah, that first spicy chicken fight, how did that go for you? You were able to get past him with super balls, weren't you?
Yeah, Go-Go mimicking Super Balls and getting lucky rolls. And then I think Edgar soloed like 3 out of the next 5 bosses.
Yeah.
Yeah, this lone standing survivor there.
You did great there, and were able to pass up the Schwantz, get an early lead with that poltergeist fight. He died and had to go buy some super balls to try to catch up. So, but then your 3 characters getting no experience for so many bosses. They were what, 10, 12 levels less than Edgar, your champion.
Yeah, that's why you probably saw I went back to Narsh at one point, like for a second grind, just to get the characters up. But the experience was so low that I figured I was just wasting my time.
Yep, I definitely noticed that, or noted that in the comms. But yeah, it was not paying out. So just go on and kill some dragons or something.
And then I had X Magic, Natural Magic Mog. I was like, oh, this is going to be like a Pog Mog. He's going to cast all the spells, and like all my espers sucked.
yeah,
Yeah.
all seed. I mean, finally you found a fire 3, I believe. But other than that, what was it? Flare and life 3? I mean, nothing amazing.
Pretty much.
Now, one thing I do want to ask you is that you actually took the Tizen Thief, which you found to be actually a dead check, but that actually put 10 extra levels on Kefka. Just wondering about that.
That affects Kefka. I thought, I guess that makes sense. Yeah, Final Kefka is a boss. I always figured those boss levels only affected, like, world bosses, and then the auction house affected final battle levels.
I need to check it.
I think it's
I had
both.
it backwards. I thought, so if Zen, I think he's right, actually, now that I'm remembering. Zen increases, and Green Monkey said this, is that affects just bosses. So not final boss, it just affects bosses, and it is the auction house that affects Kefka's levels. So you just increased your bosses levels by 10, not by Kefka by 10. I had those 2 backwards earlier, but I do believe you're right, Fantastadon. So, which just made your Inferno fight easier.
Such a hard time with that boss. I don't know if everyone, like, that might be my least favorite boss in the vein. Inferno always kicks my butt.
That's
like,
so
you fight him early,
whatever.
he's a pain. You fight him late, he's a pain. I don't know, that guy's got my number.
Normally you see Sobot as the counter do like 90 damage and heal him for 90. He was whacking you for that for 3,000 damage.
Yeah, no, that was not a gimme of
I don't know if it's 10 extra levels or what, but that was rough. No bolt 3 to take him out quickly.
Now, interesting thing here also is that on our speed gaming streams, both you and the Schwantz ended up taking the narrow Edgar path through to the rest of the seed and not going to Kefka Narsh to look a shadow, where our off streamers actually did the Kefka Narsh to shadow, went that route, which they ended up with getting Sabin and Terra. So
cool. Yeah, as soon as I found Shadow with
they're
Rage,
still
I was
running
like,
right
ooh,
now, by the way.
I bet that could have been a very fun way to play the seed.
Well, with all the horrible bosses you guys ran into, you'd think the other way must have been better, but they're still running it, so...
Go Goddess is out there somewhere.
Doomgaze or Goddess, or... Yeah, it must have been just as fun as the route you guys took, so... Well...
I mean, I checked way more shops than I usually do, and there was just nothing to buy.
Right. Alright, well, I think that's it for us. Anything else you wanted to say, Fantastadon?
Glad to see this done. I'm starting a Battle Royale streak of taking Go-Go all the way through the seed and also getting crushed in the Zone Eater Cave, so... might have to work on the mechanics a little bit.
Both got squished there, so that was fun.
But yeah, anyway, great stream, guys.
Spot.
Thanks for doing all the work to make it happen, and GG to all the runners, and hope everyone's having a good time.
Awesome.
Think about
Thanks,
congrats.
Fantastadon and GG on the second place. We'll see you next week.
Yep, see you next week.
See,
Supposedly, we're the official commentators for the Ultros group. As this is
I
our
guess
second time in a
so.
row,
I mean,
right? Well, that'll
Um,
wrap it up for us. What a fantastic race. Super close between the Schwantz and Fantastadon. GG to both racers advancing to the next round. Thanks for everybody jumping in, joining in the chat, participating. Follow our runners, follow our commentators. We are also the trackers, I guess. Follow the
yeah,
restreamer.
double duty tonight.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks again to Speed Gaming for hosting us. This was a lot of fun, but I think that's it. So everybody have a good night.
Yep. Have a good night, everybody.